Hello everybody, this is SeetherCord with the long-awaited episode 3 of SeetherCast that actually no one asked for and no one ever commented about. Thanks a lot. And we have ourselves a new special guest today, and please ignore my passive aggressiveness, what I just said there, with introducing my next guest on the show, Chipflake.
Hello.
Is this me you're looking for?
No, it's not.
I'm sorry. Trigger my song lyrics, but yes, we have Chipflake on here, youtube.com/Chipflake, if that is your URL. If it's not, I'm sorry. Or unless it's like, you know, www.youtube.com/jiggity the random letters.
No, I claimed Chipflake, so it actually works.
I tried to do that. I think I read like if you get like 100 subscribers, you can qualify for that, and I tried getting that, but it never shows up, and it sucks for me. But you know, it's all right. It's all good. But yes, Chipflake is known for YouTube videos, for VidMe, for DeviantArt, for Tumblr, for Patreon.
I don't really post on VidMe much, to be honest.
Well, we should all post on there. Every YouTuber should post on there just in case like YouTube explodes. So.
Yeah.
You actually kind of inspired me to think like, you know, I should probably post all my videos on VidMe just in case something happens.
Yeah.
I don't even have all of my videos saved on my external hard drive. I have it since like maybe like the past 2 months. I've been putting all my videos on there just in case something happens. But yeah, I've seen tons of like vlog channels regret like, you know, their videos getting deleted for copyright and not having them saved, and they lost it and it's gone forever.
It's good to have an online backup.
Yes. Or, you know, the physical block, you know, keep it safe.
Yeah.
Keep it in a box, lock it up, throw the lock away, throw the box.
Throw the lock away, put the key in the box.
Yeah, throw the box down the river, you know. Gets eaten by a whale, kill the whale, store the whale somewhere.
Whales live
Area
in rivers.
51. Yes. I don't know. A river leading to the ocean. But anyway. Yes. So I'm sorry I got my geography wrong, Chipflake, okay? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you better be very disappointed.
Yes. Go back to the state of Australia, why don't you?
State, okay. No, but England is my city, do you not know that?
Yes. Go back to Russia. But, it's like next door, but my geography's so off. But anyway, Chipflake, since I have you on here as hostage, can you explain yourself a bit?
Explain myself?
Just like what do you do, you know?
Well, you pretty much said it already. I make YouTube videos. I don't really have like a theme, really. I kind of just make videos about what I want. I talk into a mic and then put a cat on it on the screen, and people like it. So yeah.
So you're pretty much Leafy, but no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But yeah, or every YouTube commentator, but on YouTube, including myself. But you know, but pretty much, what really kind of inspired you to get into YouTube? Pretty much.
Oh jeez. So I've been making YouTube videos for like way longer than my actual current channel is.
40 years.
How old that is. Sorry?
40 years.
Yeah, I'm 41 years old tomorrow. So anyway. I kind of just made like random stuff. I found YouTube in like 2007, I think, and I just thought it was really cool. I found like the subgenre of videos where people would make animations with Paint and Windows Movie Maker, and I thought I can do that. I started doing that for a while, but I eventually transitioned into my current channel because after, well, the animations I used to make were to like songs and stuff and clips from TV shows, like audio, and I'd animate to it, but YouTube started reinforcing copyright a lot more, so I couldn't really make those videos anymore. And that's when I decided to transition into making almost completely original content like I do now.
Nice. I can just remember the days back when YouTube didn't care about copyright, and they would all YouTube was these sped up Alvin the Chipmunk Nightcore songs to anime music videos, and all of them used that same song where it was like called Every Time We Touch by Cascada. It was that one song, like no matter what, like it was always that same song in Nightcore version, and I'm just like, it's stuck in my head. It's been stuck in my head for years, more than the DuckTales
I may
theme.
or may not have made one of those.
Get off my podcast. I'm kidding. Well, that's been podcast. Good night.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, but it's the same song. I would sing it to give guys an example, but I don't want to get shut down for copyright, so.
YouTube national anthem of 2007.
2007. 2017. What's 2017? Freaking Despacito? I don't know. YouTube Rewind 2007 with Cascada's Every Time We Touch Nightcore version.
Naruto AMVs.
Yes, oh god. Homestuck AMVs. But yeah, but what do you really do with YouTube today, and what's really kind of influenced you to make the videos that you make today?
So I was inspired a lot by the recent uprising of storytime animation channels. Like the two biggest ones are called The Odd Ones Out and Jaden Animations. So I got really inspired by them because it's like I was kind of bummed out that I couldn't animate anymore because of the copyright stuff, but then I realized like, hey, I can still animate but make it original and not get copyright striked if I just do this kind of thing. But the problem is that I feel like I can't tell stories that much because nothing too interesting happens in my life. So I kind of just take the animation storytime idea but talk about different kinds of topics. I did like a video about TV shows, and I did one about like beauty standards and stuff like that. It's both like really random stuff. Oh, thank you.
You covered some really weird TV shows in that video.
Yeah. It was interesting.
One of the weirdest, like, I don't know if you remember, I think it was called like Ubi or something, but it was like an early learner show where basically they just had human hands come out and they put googly eyes on them and they would just like talk on screen like.
That sounds very familiar, but I don't really know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's alright. It was just weird, But,
yeah.
But besides that, yeah, when it comes to like YouTube animation, I don't really follow those two channels you talked about, but I am aware of them. If I could ask though, usually I've always seen like a lot of the animation channels on YouTube, like a lot of the big ones are usually like struggle when it comes to like, video linked and not being able to upload as much, so they don't get that much money to support them. But how do the Odd Ones Out and Jaden Animations stick with it? Do they have like multiple people animating?
So they have quite a basic style of animation, which doesn't take very long to do. But they also hire people to help them out with drawing and coloring and stuff, I believe.
That's pretty interesting. But the only other channel I see that's kind of the only channel I am familiar with that does that is the YouTube channel. I think one of Danger Dolan's YouTube channel, which I don't know, Danger Dolan has like 25 different channels. So
yeah.
Yeah, he has a team.
The one where it answers questions and stuff.
Oh yeah, like my name is Danger Dolan. I'm here to blind you with truth, and then he just says something completely stupid.
Yeah.
But and then someone else tells the actual fact, and I find that kind of funny. But
yeah, I mean, when you have channels like that, when they get like millions of views on each video, they can afford to hire people to help them out.
Yes.
You.
And then you just go to Cartoon Network for like people. And then you just get like the people who worked on Chowder to just animate for you.
Jeez, that would be nice.
Or Flapjack, though, with how terrifying they made their show look.
That would be very suitable to my channel.
Yes. Intensey faces. But, yeah, pretty much, what really got you into, you know, animation and art, per se?
So I kind of just drew stuff as a kid, and like my family and people would just always be like, "Oh, that's pretty good," you know, and
hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and being a little kid, you don't know like what you want to do with your life, and people always tell you, "Oh, just do what you enjoy," and like people tell me that my drawings are pretty good, so I just carried on doing that.
Follow your heart. Follow your heart.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Follow it.
I remember thinking, like, when I first started using the internet, and I would see, like, digital art, it never really, like, connected in my brain that a person made this, as weird as that sounds.
Yes.
So I never thought that I could get to that level. And that's when I found YouTube, and I found these, like, freaking MS Paint animations. When I realized, like, I can freaking sit here on my computer and make these myself. Like, I don't have to be a professional, you know, artist to do this stuff. So that's really what got me started.
How long have you been drawing for?
I don't know. like,
30 years.
As I said, yeah. 31 tomorrow. So as I said, since I was a kid, I've just been drawing stuff. I didn't really start to take it seriously until a couple years ago, to be honest. I would always just draw what came into my head, but recently I started to like study things like anatomy and color and stuff to really like get my work to a more professional level. So I guess you could say that I like more seriously started drawing a couple of years ago, but I've been drawing casually like my whole life, I guess.
Yeah, pretty cool. If there's any advice you would give to any like young inspiring artists, because your art's really nice work of art you got to look at. It got a modern day Pablo Picasso, but
I don't know about that, but thank you.
But if there's any advice you would give to young artists out there, what would your advice be to all the little people in the Cord family listening to this right now?
Jeez, I don't know. Family. I'm really bad at giving advice. I don't know. Like there's a lot of different things you can say to people who are looking to get good at art. So I don't know. You'd have to be a bit more specific. I'm sorry.
It's feeling like just
always try your best. There we go.
In terms of I get you. If I could be more specific, how about in terms of like, if you want to get more into digital art, or if you want to get more into traditional artwork, you know, for both of those pathways to take. If you're ever going to get into the field of like, you know, doing online commissioning with art, what would your advice be?
Yeah, so in terms of traditional and digital, I feel like a lot of people, particularly young artists, feel like they just need to stick with one thing and get really good at it, when really you can do both digital and traditional art. So I guess my advice would be like, don't limit yourself, because you don't need to do that. Another thing is, a lot of people think that they have to like develop their own style and stick with that and do like all of their drawings in the same style, when in reality, like, you can have multiple styles. You can draw more realistic for some pieces and more cartoony for some pieces. You don't have to draw exactly the same all the time.
And I feel like maybe a lot of people might also be fearful of, like, you know, what if just they get accused of, oh, you ripped off this person's style and things like that. You ever had that happen?
That hasn't happened to me, no.
I got you.
I've always been like terrified of people calling me out for things like that and saying I stole people's styles. I think that's something that really held me back as I like did art in school, for example. I didn't like, a big part of doing art in school is looking at other artists and using them as a reference to like improve your own work, but I didn't like doing that because I felt like I was copying them. When really, there's a difference between copying and taking inspiration from something, you know?
Yes. Tracing. You know, I don't view personally, I've tried to get into art multiple times, but over time, like, I have somewhat of the basic format of drawing down, you know. I understand, you know, I'm not really good when it comes to in terms of like anatomy, but I feel like I got in terms of like, you know, facial structure, in terms of drawing that, I got that down to at least somewhat of an extent. But personally for me, drawing has never really been my thing in terms of like, you know, developing. But I enjoy, like, you know, still like the animation aspect of drawing and all, and I wouldn't, you know, dream of like, you know, working on cartoons one day, but I would like to work more as like a writer and such. But I feel like I don't know, I feel as if like when it comes to working on cartoons, I feel like you need to have some form of a like stance or a knowledge of animation or drawing itself. I don't feel like maybe just doing writing is not enough or so, but I don't know.
I guess that depends on what kind of job you want to do.
But yeah. Well, if I could go back to YouTube, in terms of like, what really do you feel helps you get to your level of success with YouTube? Because you have a pretty solid YouTube channel in terms of like level of success in the whole grand scheme of YouTube, and I'm really glad for you on that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What really influenced that, would you believe?
Honestly, I feel like 90% of it has just been luck. Because
those algorithms.
Yeah. You could have like the most optimized tags, SEO possible, and you could still not appear in search results because the way the search system works is they change how it works every so often, so that people can't like figure it out and like sell that information to advertisers, for example. So you really have to get lucky with your stuff appearing in the search. And I seem to get pretty lucky recently, like
still kind of a mystery, but
if I want to say something that's a bit more helpful to upcoming creators, I think just getting your content to the quality level, to the highest quality level that you can, is going to help a lot. Like, you really need to focus on first making content that you will deserve to have a lot of views and subscribers for. I don't know if deserve's the right word, but
yeah, I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
And also focusing on like not letting, you know, views and subs can have a huge major influence on your content as well. And a lot of channels do that as well when it comes to like branding and marketing and selling their, you know, their rights to their products to businesses and all. And then those YouTube channels that focus too much on, you know, what is best trending, they eventually like, they're big for a short period, but then they, you know, completely die out over time, you know. That's why
exactly. It's like you can make content for other people and it's gonna get more views quicker, probably. Like if you're making like, I don't know, cringe compilations or something, but it might not be something that you personally enjoy or feel is creatively stimulating enough for you. So you really have to find a balance between what you want and what level of growth you're comfortable with.
And always, I do believe it's also important to not feel like to become a prisoner to your audience and always make sure you don't let them have the last word in what happens for your channel. And I do know a lot of people who do YouTube just because they want to do it for themselves, and they have virtually no subscribers, but they still constantly upload because they love doing it for themselves. Some might do it for both themselves and others, which that can be fine too, but you gotta learn to have a good balance if you want to have both a passionate and genuine channel that's also fairly successful financially and, you know, in terms of like media aspects.
Yeah, exactly.
And when it comes to like, you know, like trending and what's like really big on YouTube these days, one thing that sticks out to my mind is how the commentary community, I think like maybe around in the year of 2016 was really big last year, but now this year it's kind of like died out, or not died out, it's just it's not really as marketable or profitable as it used to be. And I think like the biggest channel that like profited off of commentary was like, I think it was Leafy, who got like 4 million subs that year, but now his channel's pretty much dying at this point, and all the other commentary channels, they're either losing subs and not getting as many views as they did last year, and not really
I've noticed that it's become really difficult for small commentary channels to grow like around this time.
Yeah, they were the big thing on YouTube, like how YouTube animation used to be the biggest thing back in, I believe, like 2010 and 11, but now it was the commentary community. Now I don't really know what's really most marketable on YouTube right now. I think it's maybe like prank channels and vlogs, but
or kids toy channels.
Toy channels, freaking illegal Kinder eggs in the United States. Those are illegal here. I cannot legally own a Kinder egg. Oh man.
Jeez. Dangerous weapons
of mass destruction. But other than that, I do think that like prank channels and toy channels and vlog channels are really what's marketable. Maybe not so vlog channels. I think that they were also kind of a fad at one point or so. Yeah.
The YouTube really has like trends every now and then.
Got my fidget spinners right here.
No.
I own 30. No, I'm kidding.
No.
Yes. And also like same thing with gaming channels. Gaming channels used to be pretty big as well at a time. And I feel like they're the only ones that are still profitable because they can. I'm not saying everyone does that, where they are probably some of the easiest content to be made in terms of like, you know, producing quantity over quality, and like in terms of like having length time of videos, you know. But not saying that all gaming channels do that. It's just like, you know, a good example of a channel that does a lot of high quality and like quality over quantity gaming videos. Cherry Conroy, for example, really good. Check out his Fire Red Let's Play. It's pretty nice. And Emerald.
It's just really, really difficult to grow a Let's Play channel now. Yes,
unless you do like either really like trending games that are either, you know, coming out, upload videos of them on the day they come out, games that are trending and have like this own really bad fan base, like you know, Five Nights at Freddy's. I think Cuphead's gonna become like a bad fan base as well, probably. And or either that or just make Minecraft videos still, but
yeah, or be popular already.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a shame. But yeah, that's the problem with oversaturation. Like, there are good gaming channels out there, but they're so difficult to find now, and people aren't willing to go through all of the people who just do it for the money, the quick money. They're not willing to go through all of those channels just to find the good ones.
A lot of the gaming channels I used to follow back when I was younger, because back when I was like 14 or 15, like 5 or so years ago, I followed quite a few gaming channels, not necessarily relating to like, you know, big games or like big community-based games, more like the obscure games in a way that you know, console games that are obscure. They were pretty, not really like huge like channels, like they were in like around the 1 to 200,000 subscriber mark, so they're pretty solid channels that were able to make a pretty decent income off of it. But then like as the oversaturation came in, it became harder for them to like really, you know, strive on YouTube and make their earnings. A lot of them went to Twitch, and a lot of them are now just Twitch streamers, you know. But yeah, Twitch is a lot. I think like Twitch is striving a lot more in terms of, you know, gaming content rather than YouTube now, unless it comes to like, you know, those popular games that come out recently, or if they're already relevant still. But yeah, and going into like, you know, when it comes to like producing media and you know, marketing yourself, do you think it's important to you know, spread yourself out besides just with YouTube or with one platform if you want to like make it more of a business sense?
It's a good question. I guess it depends on the kind of content you are making. I think it's easier to do that with certain kinds of content than it is for others, because some kind of content, like, they only really have a place on YouTube. You can't really like transfer gaming videos, for example, to like, I don't know, Twitter. I guess, yeah, so
Daily Motion.
I think it's a good idea to definitely have a plan to branch out.
Because the reason why I bring that up is it makes me think back to the whole adpocalypse that went on a couple months ago, and how I think it was the YouTuber Boogie2988 who was talking about it, and how he was already doing like Twitch streaming for like 2 or 3 years or so, and how he was pretty much not that much affected by the adpocalypse because he already was invested in other platforms to help get his pay done for, you know, his online personality. And so it's kind of like a safety net just in case.
I think that's an important thing to have, like, if you're self-employed, like in general, for any job. Well, not even just self-employed, like at any time you could get fired from your job, or it could like go bankrupt or something and you lose your job. Like, it's always important to have a safety net for things like that, not just on YouTube.
In terms of like, if I could ask you, in terms of making money on YouTube, or like, you know, getting to the point where you've reached a certain level of success with YouTube and wanting to make it like a full-time or maybe just even a part-time gig, and what is your honest thoughts about that, and you know, trying to do YouTube for you know, financial gain?
It's not really something I have a problem with. I feel a little bit conflicted about this kind of thing, because even like the kinds of channels that you might feel like are only making videos for the money and might be a bit disingenuous with the way they're doing it, for example, like doing clickbaity things, they still get the views. Like, for example, if we take, for example, somebody like Jake Paul, who a lot of people criticize for the way he like uses clickbait and you know, things like that seem disingenuous to a lot of us. Like, people still watch his videos, like there's still a market for that. So should we really like say that he shouldn't be making videos? You know, they shouldn't be making money off it? I don't know. Yeah.
I see what you mean. And I was more so asking, like what do you think about the whole, or how would you describe really the whole process of, like, you know, getting to the point where you have money, get into a play of making, or into a play of coming from your videos, and like, you know, doing that. You know, for me personally, I always seemed to think like the concept of me doing YouTube, and if I ever got to the point where I could like make a decent amount of money off of YouTube, which just want to let you guys know that's never going to happen. I always thought like I would probably never want to really do YouTube as a full-time thing, because I always thought like YouTube is kind of like an unstable sense of income, because you never know, like there's no set salary, there's no sense of like, you know, exactly how many views you're gonna get. I think you can maybe if you check if there's like kind of a pattern over the span of a few years, but I mean, like if you're starting out, like you don't know like how much money you're gonna be getting every month from Google. I don't really like, yeah, I see like maybe it could be a good thing for me personally. I think it would be good as like a part-time gig for me, but I think that if you wanted to go full-time with it, make sure to spread out to maybe like other forms of media also to get yourself in some money, because YouTube could die out any day. I have honestly no idea when YouTube's gonna die out. I think YouTube is on probably one of its last few years personally, but I hope not. But that's honestly what I think. So I probably should start branching out a little bit more if I want to, you know, stay in the game. So
for me, like, full-time YouTube is something I would love to do. Like, it's honestly something I'm trying to do. And in terms of the whole unstable platform thing, I feel pretty confident towards it, to be honest, because I'm pretty lucky that the content that I like making is very, like, advertiser friendly. Yeah, I don't feel like I'm censoring or restricting myself with the content I'm making, so, you know, I'm pretty lucky with that. As for when YouTube eventually dies, which, like you said, is inevitable, I haven't really thought too much about that, to be honest, which isn't very good, but I like to think by the time that happens, I'll have used YouTube as a platform to gain enough of an audience that they'll stay with me, like, as I move on, and maybe I'll do, like, art commissions or something like that. Maybe there'll be another video platform I can use, something like that, you know.
See what you mean. You don't have to worry about the dreaded yellow $sign circle to appear next to your
pretty
video.
lucky with that.
That's a nightmare for a lot of people.
I only had like a couple of issues with it, and I'm not like in a situation right now that if I didn't get a video monetized that I wouldn't like be able to pay for food or something like that, so it's fine. Like, in this situation that I'm in right now, like, I don't know.
Go to Fiverr. Oh boy.
The Jesus guy.
I still can't believe I commissioned the Jesus guy. The Jesus guy.
That was amazing.
Like, best $15 I ever spent.
That was $15?
It depends. Like, you can get either like he makes like different versions of it. Like, I think like depending, like I think like 20-second or like 50 lines of words is like, you know, like a certain amount of words is like 5, something else is like 10, 15, and I just went all out, you know. And the only reason I even bought it was because when I first signed up for Fiverr, I originally wanted to make someone put me in a Shooting Stars meme, but someone was doing commissions for that, and then I put $15 in my account and through my PayPal, and the guy was like, I sent him the video of me dancing in fursuit and giving it to them, and they were like,
oh,
dude,
God.
you uploaded this in 60 frames per second, this is too much.
Aww.
And I'm just like, I can't do every frame, and I'm like, okay, and then he gave me the money back, and it was just sitting there. I was trying my best to like transfer the money back to my PayPal, but it was so hard, and I was just basically like, okay, what can I buy that could be of some use for me for this? And I was like, how about that Jesus Christ guy on YouTube from PewDiePie's video?
I've always wanted to hear Jesus tell me to subscribe to SeetherCord.
And then oh yes, he definitely does not have a micro penis.
Good video.
That one part in the video. Thank you. But yeah, it's you know, if you want to check out Jesus Christ, if you want to send a little greeting card to you know, for like Mother's Day, a birthday party, an old person at their deathbed, you know, if they're religious, they can you know, go and see a little video from Jesus before they go up. Aww. Yes. Kind of messed up at the same time, but thoughtful. Yes. You're gonna die. But other than that, let's talk about Oreos. No, let's not talk about Oreos. Oreos, I talked about
Watermelon
freaking
Oreos.
weird ass Oreo flavors earlier before we recorded this. Oh boy.
What? Okay, I'm leaving.
No.
Bye.
No, I'm sorry.
Never coming on your channel again.
I'm sorry. Do not Google image search that.
God.
Do not.
Oh my.
Stop going to Google Images, viewer. Stop.
This podcast is going in the wrong direction.
I'm sorry, but another subject. Did you know they actually released Nightmare on Elm Street flavored Oreos? Yeah, I think like they have like the icing be like shaped into the Freddy Krueger for that or something like that. I know it exists for that, and they also did one to promote the new It movie.
That's weird. We don't get
Gotta love
crazy
Pennywise
things
Oreos.
like that over here. Like the most intense flavor of Oreo we get is like the mint flavored one. Yeah, it's fine. I don't really like it though.
Gross.
I don't know.
Does it make your breath smell minty fresh? We you ever had the
No, I
double
don't
stuffed
think we have
Oreos where
those.
it's like twice the size?
We have the crispy ones though. The really thin
Dang.
ones. They're really nice.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, the Oreo thins. I like my Oreos thick. But anyway. Actually, now that I look at it, Oreos are really bad for you.
They taste
You know?
nice, so
Let's see how this is. I'm looking at the thing. Serving size, 2 cookies. Calories, 140 per serving. 70 calories in one little bitty Oreo. Jesus. I'm gonna stop holding the box because it's noisy. But anyway.
I knew that would
So
happen.
we went from YouTube videos
We made a
to
joke
Oreos.
about it before the podcast started, but I knew it would actually happen.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
And
that's
Oreos
true.
are dope, you know? Oreos are amazing. Yes. I don't know, did you ever like try to take the 2 pieces of the cookie apart and try to perfectly get the icing off without like having any stick there?
I don't have
and then
that
when you
much
fail, you'd be
Oreo
like,
dedication, to be honest. I kind of just eat them like a normal person.
God, you don't savor food. Come on, you gotta savor it. You know, you can't just like. You can't just,
I mean,
like,
I've done the
swallow
twist
it. You
and
gotta, like,
dunk
savor
before,
the
but
taste of food. You
I
know?
haven't like, I don't know, done weird.
Yeah, there's an
Oreo
art form
autopsies.
to doing the twist and dunk with Oreos. Yeah. Oreo autopsies. But yes, there's an art form to it. The Oreo Olympics. The Oreo Olympics, spelled O-R-E-O.
I feel like this is the part of the
L-Y-M-P-I-C-S.
podcast where everybody just stopped listening.
Oh, come on. And then that's when I put in like 20 ads. There's probably going to be like 400 little yellow dashes on the time bar. No, I'm not. I'll probably put like 2 or so. Or do you know that one YouTube video? I think who's that YouTuber? Quebble Cop, who made that video of him slapping himself for 24 hours.
Yeah.
And then like if you look at the bar, the only reason I bring this up is because of the time bar. It's completely yellow. It's completely yellow. Oh man. I found out the video is just, it's not like actual
repeated.
24 hours of him slapping
But when
himself.
you try
It's
to
just
skip
like
forward,
20
you
minutes
play
and
an
just
ad.
like repeats it.
Yeah.
That's when you turn on ad block. Please don't put ad block on for my channel after this whole
What?
thing. Please don't.
I used to
Do it
use
to
AdBlock
Chipflake.
a lot.
I'm
but
kidding.
Since the Adpocalypse stuff happened, I haven't used it since. I just, I don't know, I feel bad.
Yeah.
Also, it would be really hypocritical of me to use AdBlock as a freaking creator myself who has ads on their videos.
And even like back in the older days when you had way back in the old days. No, I mean in the older days, of YouTube when I would use ad block. There would always be those few ads that would like sneak past the ad block and you would still see it. One ad for Chili's. It's a restaurant here. It kept sneaking in, and I was like, "Go away! Stop playing this." And even when you don't use ad block, do you never have those times where like you have the same ad play over and over, like YouTube Music? Remember that ad? They would like play this like ad for the you know what YouTube Music is, though, right? It's an ad basically for YouTube to play music. And they just basically YouTube, but only like the music videos, pretty much. Speaking of music videos, when I look at like the views, like all like the music video and like Vivo channels for artists have, when it comes to the view counts, they just demolish other content.
Yeah, sorry.
All the other content. And also those...
I was gonna say that like it's kind of understandable in a way because it's music, like people listen to it on repeat and stuff.
And there's also really weird how I've looked at like how other videos are like the top videos on YouTube. Like I think like like the toy channel videos, some of them have over 100 million views. I think like one it's Kinder ridiculous. Egg surprise video has like 800 million views, and I'm like, whoa. There's even like nursery rhyme videos have over. There's like 2 I've seen that have over 1 billion
are like
views.
The most marketable audience on YouTube right now.
Wheels on the Bus.
Yep.
Pretty much. I wonder if there's like a market for like 60-plus-year-olds on YouTube. Probably be like
my nan doesn't
how
even
to watch
have a computer,
video,
so
or how to search up YouTube videos.
She just doesn't like technology
Amish,
very much.
I'm kidding.
But she has a TV.
Yes. TV, yes. Nice. But she probably like enjoys watching those weird kid shows you made that video about, but no, I'm kidding. But I don't know what to talk about. I'm kidding. So what other is there any specific other YouTube channels besides I think Jan Animations and the Odd Ones Out that have inspired you for YouTube?
Honestly, just like I watch a lot of YouTube, and I watch a lot of different genres and people and channels, and they all kind of inspire me in a way, like just seeing people being successful and doing things that they love, and you know, all that wholesome stuff.
Is there any former YouTubers that you've enjoyed that you were sad to see?
To be honest,
move on to better things.
Oh no.
Ray William
Smosh. No, I'm kidding.
No. Freaking Crampshy's gonna watch this, and she's gonna hate you because she's like, she loved Ray William Johnson, and she hated. No, she didn't hate, but like you know how he left, and then they tried to replace him with a new host, and they hated every single one they tried to replace him.
Never watched.
You can't beat the original. He's the OG.
So I didn't even know that he left, and they tried to replace him. Oh.
But yes, they did.
Yeah.
Smosh though is completely different.
I used
from
to
when
really
I used
like
to watch
it as a
back
kid
in, like,
too.
2012. It was just like, oh. Yes. I remember back when there was just like 12. No, not 12. There was just the 2 guys, Ian and Anthony, and now Anthony's gone, and there's like 12 people I don't know as main cast members.
I don't know.
I don't even think Ian, at least, or Ian and Anthony, I don't think they even write the show anymore. I don't think so. Like, their style... I'm glad at least Anthony's doing well on his own, and I don't know what Ian, if he does anything independent or so.
I don't know, but all of the people that I've ever watched on YouTube and the ones that have left, I've always just kind of like stopped watching them before they left anyway. Like I just grew out of their content or like stopped enjoying it as much. So I don't know, most of them I didn't even notice left, to be honest.
How do you feel about YouTube content creators or YouTube channels that take a complete 180 when it comes to the type of content they make, and they just start making content that is completely different from what they were originally getting their audience from?
Well, I understand why they do that kind of thing, to be honest. Like, I understand wanting to do something else if you're not enjoying it, but like, it's when they do it on the same channel that they used to build their audience. Like, they built their audience off this type of content that they're not making anymore, so nobody's gonna watch it. None of your current audience is gonna watch it. You need to start from scratch, so why don't you just like make a new channel? I don't understand. Yeah,
I understand what you mean too. One channel with that I see is like Mr. Repsion, which I know both of us formerly used to watch. He's such a great guy. But I remember at one point, I think after I think it was like at the end of last year, he started getting a huge amount of unsubscriptions from his channel due to people pointing out his content has changed. But to me personally though, I think he has somewhat of an understanding of what his channel, I think he had somewhat of a focus on what he was making his videos on. And if to the people listening to this, if you don't know, Mr. Repsion was is still a channel of this one guy who sits in his room and talks about a lot of things, be it from religion, politics, any real walk of life, video games, things like that. But I feel like he had somewhat of an understanding of where his content was really getting its fan base. But he also seemed like one of those channels where like he would at times just like upload completely random things and all. Like is this like kind of a slice of life advice channel? Is this a vlog channel? I don't know, because there's even times where he would just upload let's play videos on it, and I'm like, and then he made the gaming channel, and that one's
sometimes
been
I see
inactive
his
for like
videos
3 years
and I
now,
recommend it and I'll watch it and it'll be like, oh, that was pretty interesting. But I don't subscribe to him because he just uploads so many different videos and most of them I'm not interested in.
Like, I don't know, would you have to have like at least 75%
probably.
of his videos
I kind of just
interesting to
don't want my
personally?
subscription box spammed with videos that I'm not interested in.
Yeah. I actually hear like one of like probably the worst mistakes any YouTuber can ever make is like uploading a huge amount of videos in an extremely short amount of time, like 20-30 videos in a day. That like I've seen channels do that and they lose. Like one channel I saw, it was Cosmo Speedruns. That channel, they had 102,000 subs at the day that they did that, and then they uploaded like 30 videos in the middle of the night, and they were all like 10-second videos, and they went from like 102,000 to like 97,000 in a night.
Deal with that.
Speaking of another thing involving unsubscribing, there's Cramshy told me about this one Spanish-speaking channel that I think it was called Dallas Review, that their subscriber count, they got into some drama and they went from like 5.5 million subs to like less than 100,000 in a day, and it happened like a week ago. And I'm like, my God. If you look at their channel now, they made their subscription count private, so you can't really see it, but there are screenshots of it. It shocked me how you can lose that many in a day.
Most people subscribed would just like weren't even like people who watch the videos, they just subscribe for, like, to see the number go up, because a lot of people do that.
I think that happens when you get to the point of like, I don't know if it happens like whether it's like, you know, if you're like at a certain number or if you get like a certain amount in a certain amount of time, so when they start doing that. But I think it's like, yeah, people will do that as well. Like, oh, he's about to hit 100,000 subs, I'll subscribe to him to make him reach that milestone. But when it comes to like channels, I forgot what I said. Brain fart? No. But what I was gonna say, if you had to guess, like if you had to have your whole subscriber count, and of those people that subscribed, how many would you say like tune in for each video? Or just like on average for many YouTubers, like let's see, you got like PewDiePie, who's at like 60 million, and their average video gets like 2 million. That's only like a 30th like of the people who subscribe actually click on it, so
goes down the more subs you have, like the percentage watching.
And it's very rare to like have, or those certain channels that have like very few uploads, but they like make sure they're gonna be videos that get more views than they have subs, and those are very rare. Yes. I'd say like for me, like I think on average, like I get like probably, I think it's like 1/12 of like my subs check in every video. But yes, that's pretty much what I get at that point. I think that's a good point to really close off the podcast, if that's all right with you. Is there anything you else want to mention?
It was a good podcast. Fun. Had a fun time.
Yes, but before we end, hold down, slow down. I'm sorry, but is there now this is the point of the podcast where you can plug any social media business, hitman business going on,
so
any
if you want to
deep web stuff you want to promote,
just call me.
Put it right here right now.
I'm kidding. I don't know,
assassinate me.
If you don't know my channel, if you're not here from my channel, it's just youtube.com/Chipflake. I make videos. If you like Seether's videos, I think you might like mine too, but if you don't, that's fine too. Follow me on Twitter. Don't follow me on Instagram, because Instagram's a pile of poop. It's a terrible platform. Yeah.
All the memes make it worse.
Yeah, those are the main ones I use.
Oh man, you just freaking pissed off Instagram. Yeah. Anyone that tries to put the username Chipflake gets auto banned.
No, I don't use Tumblr.
Got any Tumblr? Don't forget get the VidMe and the Patreon. And the GoFundMe and the change.org.
What?
You
weren't supposed to tell me.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Oh, come on. And also the MySpace page.
Oh yeah,
official MySpace page. Do you have a Facebook page?
I always forget because it's like Facebook is terrible.
YouTube, Twitter, Flickr, Patreon, DeviantArt,
so you're just gonna confuse
Tumblr.
people now.
I don't forget. Okay, legit. Link in description to all of them. YouTube, Twitter @Chipflake, YouTube Chipflake, Patreon Chipflake.
I'm literally Chipflake on everything.
By that.
So.
Do you want to promote your DeviantArt
too? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just Google search Chipflake and anything that comes up. Now you're gonna get like 4 different people trying to impersonate you now. Have you ever had that, or anyone yet at this point
luckily.
Like tried to make a
what
fake
I
account
did
trying to be you? Yet?
I tried to make an account on like every popular site with my name, so that people can't claim it. I even made an iFunny account just in case somebody tried to impersonate me on iFunny.
All Chipflake on iFunny. Do you post on it?
As soon as I made the account. Yeah. You gotta go to extreme measures.
Yes. You thought of getting verified on YouTube? Yeah, you don't have to be at like any certain subscriber amount. I've seen like a channel with like 400 subs do it. It's just it's a little, you gotta go through like Google and things like that.
Ooh.
Social Blade verified too. So. I don't know that my channel actually got verified on Social Blades. That's pretty cool. Thank you. I bet like Chipflake keeps a little like globe next to his Twitter name. But yeah, that's a good place to close up the podcast. Any last words before we sign off and go to Mars?
Subscribe to SeetherCord.
And if you don't, I'll delete my channel. one like equals one potato chip from Chipflake.
Oh, geez.
And then we're gonna get 1,000 subs, and you're gonna have to give 1,000 bags of potato chips.
They're called Walkers.
Hope you like Lay's potato chips.
Fucking American.
Walkers. Disabled people use walkers. No. Oh, come on. But anyway.
I've been Chipflake.
Well, that's all it. I've been SeetherCord. We'll see you guys in the next podcast. If there ever will be another one. You're probably going to have to wait 6 months, like waiting for the next season of Rick and Morty. But anyway, good night, everyone.
And that's a wrap.